So I would like to introduce James Gardner to you. He was 25 years old when the Eastland disaster occurred. His letter was published in the Galena Daily Gazette of Galena, Illinois, on the 27th of July, 1915. So again, the Eastland disaster happened on July 24th. James pens this letter that's published on the 27th. So fortunately for him and for all of us, he wrote his story down probably right after he got home. Then he sent it off to the paper, and the rest is history. Former Galenian tells of escape from death. James Gardner was among those on board Steamer Eastland when disaster occurs. Also helped to save the lives of other persons, was on top deck of steamer when he noticed the ship listing badly to one side. James Gardner, formerly Galena, who is now employed at the Western Electric plant in Chicago, gives the following interesting account of his experiences on the ill-fated Steamer Eastland in Chicago River, in which so many lives were sacrificed. Chicago, Illinois, July 26, 1915. To the Galena Gazette. No doubt you have heard stories in the Gazette of the recent terrible disaster of the steamship Eastland, which sunk in the Chicago River, Saturday, July 24th. But I doubt if anyone has given you a story from real experience. And as I was a passenger on the boat when it sunk, and Galena being my hometown, I feel as though it is my duty to give you an outline of the actual happenings. The Western Electric Company holds a picnic in Michigan City, Indiana, every year, and the employees had been planning on this picnic as one of their greatest accesses, as it was going to be the most beautiful picnic ever held in Michigan City. The parade alone consisted of 3,100 people, all employees of the Western Electric Company. They spent months in the making of floats and different designs for the parade. The people of Michigan City also took a great interest in the picnic by decorating the town in glorious colors. Owing to the large number of people employed by the Western Electric Company, it requires several boats to convey the crowd across the lake. They had the Eastland, the Roosevelt, and a few more chartered for this purpose. The Eastland was scheduled to leave at 7:30 a.m., so, being the first boat to leave, everybody was anxious to get that boat if possible, especially those taking part in the parade. For that reason, the boat carried mostly girls, women, and children. I left home about 6 o'clock so as to get there in plenty of time, but when I got to the car line, I had to let 3 or 4 cars go by because there were so many people on them that I could not get on. So I went a different way, which took a little longer to get there. I met a friend on the car, but he did not get on because he was to meet someone before he got on the boat, and probably that saved his life. I went directly to the boat, and when I first caught sight of it and saw the way it was crowded, something seemed to tell me it was not right, but I paid no attention to it. The boat consists of 5 decks, 3 open and 2 down in the hull. Well, I got on at the bottom and started for the top deck, but I had quite the time to get through the crowd. Then is when I realized that the boat was overloaded. It was also hard walking because the boat was in a slanting position, but no one else paid any attention to it, so I did the same. I managed to get to the top at last And then I noticed how bad it was leaning, and I noticed that it kept getting worse all the time. But the thought ran to my mind that a large boat like that could not tip over. But anyway, I decided to get off the top deck and get down inside, but the steps leading to the top deck are very narrow, not room for two people to pass each other. Just as I was going down, some people started to come up, so I thought I would wait until they got up and then I would go down. But before they got up, the boat started to tip, and when it tipped so much that the people could not stand on the floors, they had to all slide to one side, and it made a regular human ballast. By that time, the captain came out alongside of me and gave the warning that the boat was going to upset. The whistles all started to blow, and the people went insane all over the boat. I have heard many screams, screeches, and groans of different kinds, but I never heard anything to compare with that. You could hear the wailing of the women and the girls, and the crying of the children, the shouts of the men. It was something awful. They fought and tore each other to pieces, any way to get out. Well, I climbed over the railing on the top deck. Below me on the two open decks, people were climbing out over the sides as thick as bees. So I must have walked on people's heads from the top deck to the third deck. When I got to the hull, I let go. The side of the boat was wet and very slippery, and I went down so fast that I could not catch my breath. At the waterline, there is a piece of wood about the size of a 2x4. It is called a protector. It runs the length of the boat and sticks out 2 or 3 inches to keep the side of the boat from getting damaged. Well, my feet hit this protector, and I felt as though my legs had been driven up through my body, which no doubt they would have been had I landed on any solid material. I was thrown forward, and my head struck the brick building at the edge of the dock, but I had a hard straw hat on, which saved my head from being split open. Another fellow came down just like I did. He had a cap on, and his head was split from front to back. It just resembled a cracked watermelon. If I had not hit this protector, I would have been among the missing, because had I gone straight into the river, I was going at such a rate of speed that I would have gone to the bottom and stuck in the mud. I saw one fellow dive headfirst from the same place I was, and he never came to the top again. I suppose he stuck in the mud. When I came to myself, I started to rescue. I saw all the heads and arms sticking out. The river was just full of them. So I began to save what I could, helped 9 women and girls and 2 men to safety, and by that time the police and firemen had arrived and started the rescue work. The bodies were taken out in all shapes. They were cut and bruised, something awful. It certainly is a sad day in Chicago. Everybody seems sad, and especially when I went to work this morning. Faces that I used to see every morning were missing. They were drowned. It seemed as if everyone at work was crying, and when I think of those things now, I think of how lucky I was to escape, and certainly feel sorry that there were not many more as lucky as I was. So, in conclusion, I wish to say that I hope there will be no more such accidents as that, and also that this letter will be interesting to those who read it. Yours respectfully, James L. Gardner, 2449 Grenshaw Street, Chicago, Illinois,